um continuing where we left off. Well, not exactly, you know what I'm saying? A little time passed. But the long that I was looking for, yeah, the entry was like before when I normally do it. It was a tight where I don't really see these until after the fact, this OTE. So, and then I wouldn't really have much to base the OTE on, even if I went like lower time frame. But 5 minute, it was really just retrace into two down close candles, bullish expansion that creates a gap, right? So bullish order block and a fair value gap. So it was a fair value gap retrace. And I'm sure if I go lower time frame, we broke market structure on that, or at least shifted market structure of that area. Yeah, see? Right here. I shifted market structure. Shift or break. I use it interchangeably. Break I would use for higher time frame because those are the time frames that lead. But shift I would use for lower time frame because just like how you could have played some lower time frame sell model here, right? Just a little baby, not complete, but some form of sell. Higher time frame, this is just a retrace. So we shifted structure here into OTE, all of this stuff. So, and why was this a shift in market structure? My reasoning for this, it might be a little off, right? Because still kind of in the phases, but how I see it is that this high, okay, we can't see. I keep pointing like you can see. This high and this low, right? This low is made, then we run up to this high. We created a swing high. Price traded down. Then we flushed with these two, which created a bullish order block. We flushed below this low. So sell side liquidity was taken. So one side of liquidity was taken, right? And we left this swing high up here. So us from this breakdown, which makes this bullish order block, us rallying above, right? Expanding above this high, that's a shift in market structure. Because with the breaks or shift in market structure, you want to see one side of liquidity taken before. Normally, that's like the easier, safer way to do it. I'm sure there's more complicated, complex ways you can, but the fact that we took sell side liquidity before running out buy side liquidity with force, with displacement, that's why I would deem that as a shift in market structure. So, yeah, that's kind of my thinking. And then even with this, right, how I have this as a BMS, why do I have that if from this high to this low down here wasn't taken? Well, from this high before it, this was the only pool of sell side liquidity that could be taken, right? Not only because there is price before it, but relevant, like recent price, this was the only swing low before it, and we turtle soup longed it, right? We tried a fake break below for rallying above. So with this, the sell side liquidity before it was this combination of lows right here and these gaps, right? It didn't necessarily have to take this low for me. It didn't have to, right? But it did take some form of liquidity in this area. It flushed it out and then did the same thing it did here. So higher lows. This low is set, turtle soup happened. This is the low you don't want to break if you want price to go higher. We come back, we don't break that, we make a higher low before running up. So we had a low, a high, a higher low, and a higher high. That's a mitigation block, right? After the close above this, it became a mitigation block. Did we retrace into it? Not really, but it became a mitigation block. From my understanding of mitigation, because ICT hasn't really spoken publicly about that. He had like one example in the 2022 mentorship. He had one example, but you don't really need all of that. That's just to know, but you don't need all of that because you could have been an OTE person and you would have got your fill. You know what I'm saying? You'd have been in, right? You'd have been in this range, which is basically the low of the day, right, for New York session. Because then ding, and then all the way up. So mitigation, you didn't need to know all of that. You just needed whatever works for you, right? So that's kind of my understanding of that. Right now, we kind of like the boring phase where like price already moved and did its thing, and I'm waiting to see do we continue higher into this breaker, or because that's what this. Anytime you see like a yellowish orange box on my screen, it's a breaker. So I don't know where we're gonna go from here, honestly. I mean, this is looking like the beginning of a cell model, right? It is looking similar to one, but I'll have to see. And the range of where we're at so far, right? Because with a cell model, you'd want to target the excuse me, Jesus Christ, you'd want to target the original consolidation, which would be down here. You want to target below that, but the range that we set expanding upwards so far, right, because we could take this high out, but is 26 points. So half of that is right around this gap. So if this were to become a cell model, right, if this was what I think it is, then this gap would be an area, if you have multiple contracts or just one contract, this would be a good area to shave, because this is around the 50% of this is around the equilibrium of this range, this small dealing range. And it's a gap, so you can see it break through and just run all the way down here, but it also can bounce, and that bounce retrace could take you out, could stop you out for 1 point in profit compared to the 10 points in profit that you could have had, you know. So this gap would be an area that I would look to shave lower time frame. But I would at least want to sell it back down, if it does break down to the opening price, right? The opening price, midnight open. So yeah, we'll have to see. No real entry model yet, not even on the 1 minute with this consolidation. Like, nothing really happened. We didn't do anything. Nothing's really broken before. It's no real displacement. Just consolidating now. So if this was a sell model, as I'm deeming this small fractal price from here up and then potentially down, this would be the original consolidation in this area. This is reaccumulation, right? This is where we just bullishly expand. We just expand upwards. The lows we set aren't broken. It's bullish. It's bullish. And then this jumble mess would be the smart money reversal, right? This is where we would probably sweep aside of liquidity, break market structure, and then break down. How we break down, that depends. Normally when we expand upwards like this, like really fast, we tend to correct or sell down just as fast or just as aggressive as we broke down. For an example, actually, let me give you an example of that. Okay, back to the daily, right? Let's leave the lower time frames for a minute. So this area of price, this dreaded area. So we had this area, consolidation, expansion, right? Swept liquidity, broke structure, and then just like how this consolidation happened, and then we had this small area consolidation. When we broke down, we consolidated in the same area as this side, right? Roughly the same area. Where this high consolidation, this consolidated. The next area of consolidation below this area was this area. So after we consolidated here and we ran down, we expanded down. Once we got into this area, what did we do? We consolidated again, right? So it paired this side with this side, and it paired this side with this side. That's normally how sell or buy models work. With sell models, what's on the left is paired with on the right. So if there's tons of consolidation points as we went up, it's going to be tons of consolidation points as we go down, as opposed to a buy model, which would just be the opposite, I guess. Just flip my screen upside down, and that's what it would be. But after breaking below this consolidation, we ran down and then we consolidated again, and we took up level of liquidity, bearish order block, consolidated, and then broke down. So like that's an example of it breaking down. How I like the lower time frame was fast expansion, no real consolidation. So when it corrects, if it corrects, would be fast. But this wasn't really as, because it could have just been straight down, like, you know, it could have just been all the way down, but it wasn't. It was neat, real pretty cell model. So yeah, but we are drawing deep into this daily order block. Where are we at the 8 hour? 8 hour. Okay, almost filled the gap. Gap still isn't filled yet. It'll be filled at 37.77.25. So let's see. But it doesn't. The higher time frame to me doesn't. It looks like it wants to fill this gap today. Yeah, see, even on a 1 hour, it's just that same retrace into this bullish OB. Fill a gap, bullish OB down, because we broke structure with this candle before retracing. So yeah, I honestly don't know if there's gonna be anything else I want to sit through. I'm not gonna lie, because that was a move I was eyeing and it happened. So I don't know. I don't know. Excuse me. Yeah, let me just label it 2 minutes and take it off the hour. Okay, so now that we've expanded higher, now the sell model potentially, right? Because this is just what I'm seeing potentially. This would be original consolidation, reaccumulation area, more reaccumulation in this area, and now we broke higher. So now that we're in this breaker range, wait, where did I draw this breaker? Oh, overlapping. Where did I draw? Was this like an hour or something? Oh, it was. Okay, I need to label that. 1 hour. BB. Alright. To the right, not bolded, and 12, and yellow. There we go. Alright, so now we're in this area. What do we do here? And we're running into that hourly gap. This hourly gap over here. So it has a breaker and it has a gap. So let's see what we do in this areas. So from 3763 to 377725. Then an hourly, right? If we're going with the sell model narrative, excuse me. Now with this up and then retrace, now we have relatively equal lows in this area, right? This is where sell side liquidity is. Anybody that was long on this area has their stops here or are trailing it up as we go higher. So that's another thing. But the sell models normally take a minute to form. Like any of the models, a sell or buy, like even on 1 minute, they take like a minimum 10 minutes sometimes, because you have to like go through all the phases. I might pause this here and resume if something happens. So okay, I had to pause it for a minute. Yeah, so we're in this breaker and still kind of meandering. What's going on? So you see these is 2 down close, swing high, down close, expansion higher, creating a gap, taking out a high. So these 2 are a bullish OB, a 4 minute bullish OB, which is the same as these 2. It's a 3 minute, which is the same as these 2. All right, and then down to 1 minute, the dreaded 1 minute. But so far, nothing is still happening. Like nothing. So waiting. We have the potential to create a 1 minute breaker. Oh, excuse me. Oh God. We have the potential to create a 1 minute breaker. It's not fulfilled yet, but we have a high, a low, a higher high, right? We swept a side of liquidity. And then potentially a lower low with a retrace back into that area before breaking out. That's if what I'm seeing is what I'm seeing. I'm slowly emphasis on slowly learning how to, not how to, but to, even if I'm seeing these things and it seems likely, just wait for it to happen. Like, don't, like, even though prices are trading on it, be like, oh, let me get in now. But just wait and see. Just wait and just chill and see. If it happens, great. If it doesn't happen, then you're wrong. But you weren't wrong with like real money, because you have to wait. Let me put this to the back. Much better. All right. Yeah, these gonna be long recordings today, because the last one was like 20 minutes and this one's already 15 minutes. So any minute now, price. Any minute now. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pause again. I'm gonna pause it again. Oh, never mind. It heard me. It heard me. Let's see what's going on the 2 minute. Sometimes that's a little cleaner. Okay, so I'm gonna just talk just to fill the space, because I don't like sitting in silence. But I'm just screen recording on my phone, right? I'm just using my screen recorder and just doing that. If you're at like a laptop or something, I recommend OBS. It's a free video recording and editing software. So if this is something that's cool to you, try it with your own price analysis, because while I'm talking, I'll share this like publicly and stuff. You don't have to share it publicly. You could keep it as like your own archive, and you'll kind of see as you keep doing it your progression. Because I only just started doing this. Like, this is like, I think this is the 4th or 5th one. But with trading, right, and like by December I might have like 100 of these, and I'll be able to look through me interpreting live price, right? Not really just like you trade for the day and then that's it. Like, you could see your thought process and you would know what was going on like in your life during those times. So if it was like calm times, like in a period of your life going well, like whatever that means to you, were you better trading? Like, were you like seeing price, taking the trade? It's like, boom, I hit it, boom, I hit it, boom, I hit it. Or was it like turbulent times and you were just like missing every trade? You can't, I don't know what's going on, I'm lost. So that'll give you something to work with, right? Because you'll know, like, I have proof that when things are good, I trade better. Or when things are bad, I trade way less optimally, like not at peak conditions. So definitely something I would recommend. Like, this is cool. I sound like a crazy person, honestly, because you're talking to yourself, but you're not crazy. At least I hope not. I don't know. Okay, you're not really doing nothing. This is a little. Yeah, the bullish OB is supporting price, so that's cool. Excuse me. Yeah, I think this is gonna be it. This part just ended up being uneventful, but yeah, that's all I got for today with this reading price stuff. Yeah, if it plays out, great. That's all right. If it didn't, great. I didn't see it. So, okay, bye.